Hello, and welcome to Senior Wise Journey. If you're a man who has celebrated more than 60 birthdays, you've earned a certain wisdom. You know that life isn't just about the number of years you live, but the vitality you live them with. Yet, there's a quiet concern that many of us share, a conversation often had in hushed tones: the health of our prostate. It can feel like an inevitable part of aging, something we just have to manage. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the key to a future free from discomfort and worry isn't found in a prescription bottle, but in the simple, powerful choices we make every day? Today, we're not going to talk about disease. We're going to talk about empowerment. We'll uncover the hidden architects of prostate troubles, and more importantly, discover the simple, profound ways to reclaim your health, one deliberate choice at a time. This is your guide to turning wisdom into wellness.
Part 1. The Forgotten Elixir. Why your prostate is thirstier than you think. Let's start with the simplest thing on earth. Something so fundamental we often forget its power. A glass of water. Many of us, as we get older, start viewing water with suspicion. We think, if I drink less, I'll have to get up less. It's a logical thought, especially when a peaceful night's sleep feels like a precious commodity. But in this logic, we're inadvertently setting a trap for ourselves. Imagine your urinary system as a gentle, flowing river. When you're well hydrated, the river runs clear and smooth. Your urine is diluted, and it passes through your bladder and past your prostate without causing any fuss. But when we deny our body water, that river becomes sluggish and concentrated. The urine turns into a harsh, acidic irritant. This concentrated fluid aggravates the delicate lining of your bladder, and because the prostate sits right underneath it, it feels every bit of that irritation. Think of it as constantly poking a sleeping bear. Over time, that constant aggravation leads to chronic inflammation, a key trigger for prostate enlargement. Furthermore, many common medications for blood pressure or other conditions have a high dehydrating effect. If we're not consciously replacing that lost fluid, we're doubling down on the problem. The solution isn't complicated. It's mindful. Don't wait until you feel parched, as our sense of thirst diminishes with age. Keep a water bottle handy. Make a ritual of it. A glass when you wake up, a glass mid-morning, another with lunch. Aim for your urine to be a pale, straw-like color. This isn't about avoiding the bathroom. It's about making each trip calm and non-urgent. Water is not the enemy. It's the forgotten elixir that soothes, cleanses, and protects your prostate from the inside out. Part 2. The Captain's Chair and the Hidden Cost of Comfort. Ah, the favorite recliner, the well-worn office chair, the driver's seat on a long road trip. We see them as our thrones of comfort and command. But these captain's chairs can come with a hidden cost if we stay seated for too long. Our bodies were designed for movement. Our ancestors didn't sit in front of screens, they walked, hunted, and built. That legacy of movement is written into our DNA, and when we ignore it, our health pays the price, especially in the pelvic region. When you sit for hours on end, you're putting sustained pressure on your pelvic floor. This pressure acts like a clamp on a garden hose, restricting the free flow of blood to your prostate and the surrounding tissues. Good circulation is everything. It delivers oxygen and nutrients while carrying away waste products. When blood flow is poor, cellular waste builds up, and the body's natural response is inflammation. It's a slow, silent process. You don't feel it happening day by day, but year after year, this chronic circulatory slowdown contributes to the gradual enlargement of the prostate. Furthermore, a sedentary lifestyle weakens the pelvic floor muscles. These are the muscles that help you control urination and fully empty your bladder. When they're weak, you might find that you can't quite finish the job, leaving residual urine behind. This stagnant pool becomes another source of irritation for your prostate. The fix isn't about giving up your favorite chair. It's about breaking the spell of stillness. Set a simple timer. Every 30 to 40 minutes, stand up. Stretch your arms overhead. Walk to the kitchen for that glass of water we just talked about. Do a lap around the house. These small movement snacks reactivate blood flow, relieve the pressure, and remind your body what it was made to do. Don't let comfort become a cage. Let movement be your key to freedom.
Part 3. The double-edged sword in your morning cup. There are few rituals more cherished than the morning coffee. The aroma, the warmth, the gentle lift it gives you. It's a cornerstone of the day for millions. A single good quality cup of coffee can even have health benefits. But when one cup turns into 3, 4, or is followed by caffeinated sodas and iced teas throughout the day, this beloved ritual becomes a double-edged sword for your prostate. Caffeine is a known diuretic. In simple terms, it tells your kidneys to work overtime, pulling more fluid from your body to produce more urine. This means your bladder fills up faster and more often, which is already a nuisance if you're dealing with an enlarged prostate. But it's more than just volume. Caffeine is also a bladder irritant. It can make the bladder muscle twitchy and overactive, leading to that sudden gotta-go-now feeling of urgency that can be so disruptive. The second edge of the sword is its effect on your muscles. Caffeine can tighten the smooth muscle at the neck of the bladder, right where it meets the prostate. Imagine a drawstring bag being pulled slightly tighter. This makes it more difficult to start a stream and, crucially, to empty the bladder completely. Once again, we're left with that residual urine, putting constant low-grade pressure on the prostate and fostering an environment ripe for inflammation. You don't have to declare war on your coffee pot. The key is moderation and smart timing. Savor that first morning cup. Then consider switching to decaf or a flavorful herbal tea like peppermint or chamomile for the rest of the day. Notice how your body feels. You might find that reducing your caffeine load gives your bladder and your prostate a much-needed vacation, reducing urgency and promoting a sense of calm control. Part 4. Escaping the box. How modern foods age your insides. Our generation grew up on food that came from the ground, from gardens and local farms. But somewhere along the way, our food started coming from boxes, bags, and freezer aisles. While convenience has its place, a diet heavy in processed and intensely spicy foods can be a silent saboteur of your prostate health. Let's talk about spicy foods first. A little kick from jalapeno or black pepper can be a wonderful thing. But when consumed in large amounts regularly, these compounds can act as systemic irritants. If your prostate is already sensitive or inflamed, dousing it with fiery ingredients is like throwing gasoline on a smoldering fire. It can directly exacerbate the inflammatory response. The bigger culprit, however, is the world of processed foods. Cured meats like bacon and sausage, canned soups, frozen dinners, and packaged snacks. These items are engineered for shelf life and hyperpalatability, not for your health. They are loaded with three things that your prostate hates: high sodium, unhealthy fats, and a cocktail of chemical preservatives. High sodium intake makes your body retain water, increasing pressure on your entire urinary system. Unhealthy fats and chemical additives promote widespread inflammation and can disrupt the delicate balance of hormones, including testosterone, that governs prostate health. Think of your body as a high-performance vintage car. Would you fill its tank with low-grade, dirty fuel? Of course not. You'd give it the premium fuel it needs to run smoothly. Your body deserves the same respect. Start by making one simple swap. Instead of processed lunch meat, have some leftover grilled chicken. Instead of chips, grab a handful of walnuts. Focus on anti-inflammatory living foods, the deep greens of spinach, the rich reds of tomatoes, full of lycopene, the bright blues of berries. You don't have to be a chef. You just have to start choosing the foods that honor your body's wisdom, and your prostate will be one of the first to thank you.
Part 5. Answering Nature's Call, the simple courtesy your body deserves. We've all been there. You're engrossed in a movie, in the middle of a project, or on the highway with no rest stop in sight. You feel the urge to go, but you tell yourself, I can hold it. While our bodies are remarkably capable of waiting, making a regular habit of it is one of the most direct affronts to your bladder and prostate health. It's a simple courtesy that, when ignored, has significant consequences. Think of your bladder as an elastic balloon. When it fills, it sends a polite signal to your brain, time to find a restroom. If you consistently ignore that signal, you force the balloon to stretch beyond its comfortable capacity. This overstretching not only weakens the bladder wall over time, but it also creates immense downward pressure. And what sits directly below the bladder, bearing the brunt of that pressure? Your prostate. This constant strain is a direct physical cause of irritation and swelling. For seniors, this is especially critical. Our bladder muscles naturally lose some of their elasticity and strength with age. Regularly pushing them to their limit accelerates this decline. An overstretched, weakened bladder has a much harder time emptying completely when you finally do go. This leads, yet again, to that troublesome residual urine that creates a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and inflammation, potentially leading to urinary tract infections that can severely aggravate the prostate. The lesson here is one of the simplest to implement. Listen to your body. Honor its signals. When you first feel the need to urinate, make it a priority to go. Don't see it as an interruption. See it as a fundamental act of self-care and respect for your body's intricate systems. It's not a sign of weakness to need to use the restroom. It's a sign that your body is functioning as it should. By affording it this simple courtesy, you are actively defending your prostate against unnecessary pressure and long-term damage. Part 6. Clearing the air, the lingering shadow of smoke. By now, the dangers of smoking are no secret to anyone. We've seen the warnings and heard the stories. But we often associate those dangers with the lungs or the heart. We need to add the prostate to that list, and its vulnerability is profound. Smoking, and even consistent exposure to secondhand smoke, is like waging a chemical war on your entire body. The thousands of chemicals in cigarette smoke are masters of disguise. They enter your bloodstream and travel to every organ, including your prostate. Their primary mission is to wreak havoc. First, they are powerful vasoconstrictors, meaning they tighten and narrow your blood vessels. This chokes off the vital supply of oxygen-rich blood that your prostate needs to stay healthy and repair itself. It's a state of self-induced circulatory strangulation. Second, these chemicals are intensely inflammatory. They trigger a massive surge in oxidative stress, a process you can think of as cellular rust. This rust damages the DNA of prostate cells, impairing their function and promoting the kind of abnormal growth seen in both BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, and, more dangerously, prostate cancer. The body's natural antioxidant defenses, which are meant to combat this rust, are overwhelmed and depleted by the constant chemical onslaught. It's crucial to understand that the damage is cumulative. Every cigarette, every day spent in a smoke-filled room adds another layer of injury. The good news is that the body has a miraculous capacity for healing. The moment you stop smoking, the healing begins. Circulation improves within weeks. Inflammation starts to subside. If you are a smoker, seeking help to quit is the single most powerful gift you can give your prostate and your future self. Talk to your doctor. There are more effective tools and support systems available now than ever before. If you're a non-smoker, be vigilant about avoiding secondhand smoke. Clear the air around you, and you will be helping to protect the delicate health of your prostate for years to come.
Part 7. The Wisdom of the Co-Pilot. Your doctor as a navigator. There's a certain stoicism in our generation, a grin and bear it attitude that has served us well in many aspects of life. We don't like to complain, and we certainly don't like to go to the doctor unless something is well and truly broken. But when it comes to our health, especially the silent, progressive nature of prostate issues, this stoicism can be our Achilles heel. Skipping regular health screenings is not a sign of strength. It's like flying a plane through a storm without your instruments. Your doctor is not just there for when you're sick. Think of them as your trusted co-pilot or navigator on this journey of aging well. Their job is to read the instruments, like a simple PSA, prostate-specific antigen blood test, or a digital rectal exam, DRE, to spot potential turbulence long before it becomes a crisis. These screenings are not as intimidating as they may sound. They are quick, routine procedures that provide a wealth of information. They can detect the subtle signs of inflammation or growth years before you would ever feel a symptom. Catching these changes early is the master key to effective and non-invasive management. When a doctor sees a slightly elevated PSA or a minor change in the prostate, the first line of defense is almost always the very lifestyle changes we're discussing today: diet, exercise, stress management. Early detection gives you the power to steer the ship back on course with simple adjustments. However, when we wait until symptoms are undeniable, frequent nighttime urination, a weak stream, constant discomfort, the problem has already grown. The options may become more limited, potentially involving medications with side effects or more invasive procedures. Don't let pride or discomfort keep you out of the navigator's seat. Scheduling an annual checkup and having an honest conversation about your urinary health is a profound act of taking control. It's the wisest investment you can make in your long-term peace of mind and physical well-being. Part 8. Taming the Feast. A new look at red meat and vitality. For many of us, a thick steak, a juicy burger, or a Sunday roast is the very definition of a satisfying meal. It's woven into our culture and our memories. But as our bodies change, our nutritional needs and tolerances evolve as well.
A diet consistently high in red and processed meats can be a heavy burden for the aging body, and the prostate is often where that burden is felt most acutely. The issue with red meat, particularly when consumed daily, is twofold. First, it's high in saturated fats and arachidonic acid, compounds that the body converts into pro-inflammatory substances. This isn't the acute inflammation of a sprained ankle. It's low-grade, simmering inflammation that permeates your system, day in and day out, constantly irritating the prostate gland. Processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, and deli slices are even more problematic, as they contain nitrates and other chemical preservatives that further fuel this inflammatory fire. Second, a high intake of these meats can disrupt your body's delicate hormonal symphony. It can alter the way your body metabolizes testosterone, sometimes leading to higher levels of DHT, a potent form of testosterone that is a primary driver of prostate growth. This doesn't mean you must hang up your grilling tongs forever. It's about shifting the balance of power on your plate. Think of it as taming the feast. Instead of having red meat as the main event 5 times a week, make it a special occasion once or twice a week. On other days, explore the world of lean, anti-inflammatory proteins. Discover the rich flavor of grilled salmon or trout packed with omega-3 fatty acids that actively fight inflammation. Experiment with hearty lentil soups, flavorful bean chilies, or grilled chicken. By diversifying your protein sources, you reduce the inflammatory load on your body and provide a wider array of nutrients that support prostate health. It's not about deprivation, it's about a delicious and intelligent expansion of your culinary world.
Part 9. The weight around the middle, more than just a belt size. As the years go by, many of us notice a change in our physique. The muscle we had in our youth seems to be replaced by a certain softness around the midsection. We call it a spare tire or middle-age spread. We might complain about it when we try on a new pair of pants, but we often dismiss it as just another part of getting older. However, this accumulation of belly fat, known as visceral fat, is far more than a cosmetic issue. It is a metabolically active, hormone-producing organ that acts as a factory for inflammation. This visceral fat doesn't just sit there. It actively pumps out inflammatory chemicals called cytokines that travel throughout your bloodstream, creating a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation that directly affects your prostate. Men with a larger waist circumference are consistently shown to have higher levels of inflammatory markers and a significantly higher likelihood of developing an enlarged prostate. Furthermore, this fat tissue plays a disruptive role in your hormonal balance. It contains an enzyme called aromatase, which converts testosterone into estrogen. While men need some estrogen, an excess amount, combined with the inflammatory environment, can stimulate prostate cell growth. So, that belly fat is simultaneously fueling inflammation and messing with the hormonal signals that keep your prostate in check. The solution is not a crash diet or an extreme workout regimen. It's about a gentle, consistent reversal of the habits that built the fat in the first place. Start with a brisk 20-minute walk each day. Focus on reducing your intake of sugar and refined carbohydrates, like white bread and pastries, as these are the primary fuel for belly fat. Pay attention to portion sizes. Even losing 5 to 10% of your body weight can have a dramatic impact, reducing inflammation, improving hormone balance, and relieving the physical pressure that belly fat exerts on your bladder. Trimming your waistline is one of the most direct and effective things you can do to give your prostate the healthy, calm environment it needs to thrive. Part 10. The Unseen Architect, Taming the Tyranny of Stress. We have arrived at the most overlooked,
yet arguably the most powerful influence on your prostate's health: chronic stress. We tend to think of stress as being all in our head, a whirlwind of worries about finances, family, or the future. But your mind and body are not separate entities. Every anxious thought, every moment of tension translates into a physical, chemical reaction in your body, and the prostate is exquisitely sensitive to these signals. When you are chronically stressed, your body is in a constant state of fight or flight, pumping out the stress hormone cortisol. In the short term, cortisol is useful, but when it's elevated day after day, it becomes a master agent of inflammation throughout your entire system. It's the unseen architect building a foundation of disease. But the effect is also mechanical. Stress causes you to unconsciously tense your muscles. You might feel it in your neck and shoulders, but you're also clenching deep inside in your pelvic floor. This chronic tension is like having a constant, low-grade vice gripping the base of your pelvis, restricting blood flow and irritating the delicate nerves that surround the prostate. This can directly lead to symptoms of urinary urgency and pelvic pain, even without significant prostate enlargement. This is why you can have a perfect diet and exercise routine, but if your life is filled with unmanaged stress, you may still suffer. So how do we tame this tyrant? It begins with acknowledging its power and taking deliberate steps to activate your body's rest and digest system. It can be as simple as spending 10 minutes each morning in a quiet chair, focusing only on your breath. It could be taking up a hobby that absorbs you completely, like woodworking or gardening. It might be a daily walk in nature, gentle stretching, or simply putting on some favorite music and allowing yourself to relax. Managing stress isn't a luxury. It is an essential medical treatment for your prostate and your soul. It is the single most transformative habit you can cultivate for a life of calm, comfort, and vitality.
So there we have it. 10 paths that can lead to discomfort and 10 new paths we can choose to walk toward health and vitality. The most important lesson today is this: you are not a passive victim of the aging process. You are the chief architect of your well-being. The power to nurture a healthy prostate and live a life free from nagging urinary issues is already in your hands. It's in the glass of water you choose over soda, the short walk you take instead of another hour on the couch, the deep breath you take in a moment of stress. These are not small, insignificant actions. They are profound declarations of self-respect. They are the daily deposits you make in your health bank account, and they will pay you back with the incredible dividends of comfort, confidence, and peace of mind for years to come. Start with one. Just one change this week. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal when given the right tools. If this conversation has resonated with you, please consider liking this video so that others can find it. Share it with a friend, a brother, or any man in your life who you care about. And subscribe to Senior Wise Journey to become part of a community dedicated to aging not just with grace, but with power. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. Take care.